Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So this is part 4 video on .NET 7 Web API CRUD example using NT framework core. So in this video we are going to implement the update operation. So let's implement a action method for update. Okay. So public async task I action result and it will be put async my method name. Okay, and it should also contains the payload, right, for updating. Okay, so student to update, that is my payload, and it should be invoked for the only update request, right? So it should be http put. Okay, so now what I have to do means I can use my old db context students dot update. Here there is a method like update. So to this method we have to pass our payload. So in this method, okay, when we use update method, one thing we must remember, that is it will update entire data of the particular row. Okay, so using this update method, you should send entire payload student object along with your modified data. Okay, if you don't specify it, those column data will be saved with default values. For suppose, if you want to update only age, at the time you have to send entire data. Okay, when we using this update method. Okay, for suppose you send only age, but you didn't send first name, last name, gender. So those default values are nullable. So null will be updated. So in this approach, make sure to send entire payload from the client side. Okay. And next, since whenever we use the update, what will happen means my old DB context state will be changed as modified. So when the state will be changed, if we call save changes async, that changes will be saved into our database. And finally, what I can do, if you want to return, you can return OK, or else by convention you can return no content. Okay. That's it. That is our students endpoint. Let's test it. Okay, so let's go to our Swagger page. Okay, here you can see the put endpoint. Okay, now let's try to update some data. So for update data, let me first fetch my data. So go to get endpoint and execute it, and let me try to update this second record. So copy this, I want to use it as a payload. Okay, and go to students and click on try. Here in the request body, add our payload. Here one thing important is, while we creating record ID property we didn't send, but for update it is mandatory because records get inserted into the database based on the primary key value. Okay, it must be mandatory. So now let me update my page to 15 and click on execute. And here I got 204, that means no content, that means update is successful. So to check it, once again execute our get request. Okay, and here you can see my updated record, right? Data is updated. So that is how we have to implement the update operation. But here you can see the update operation, okay, for our update endpoint. See, update command, SQL query command. So this is happened because of this one, this line of code. Okay, you can see the how NT framework create the SQL query. And next one thing I want to specify, if you want to update only few properties or few columns in a row, you can do that. Okay, so for do that, what you have to do means, first you have to fetch the student data from the database, which record we want to update. Okay, student by ID. Okay, so I can use my old DB context students dot find async. Okay, to that we have to pass our ID value. So it fetches the ID value. So now what I can do, student by ID dot, I want to update only age. So equal to student to update, which is my payload dot age. So what it will do means whenever we fetch the data from the DB contest, it is a read operation, right? It will still hold the tracking. So whenever we change some value of the tracker data, context state will be modified. So at that time, if you simply write my old db context dot save changes, it will update the whatever data here we update. Okay, this way you can update the individual properties. So save changes. Okay, but mostly, okay, when you have some client-side application, something like a form, at that time you will have entire data. So this approach is enough. But if you want, where in cases if you want to update few properties at that time, the way previously I explained, you can use it. Okay. So that's all about the update operation. Okay. Next, we are going to focus on the delete operation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video delivered some useful content to you all. If you like my video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Soon we are going to meet with new videos. Until then, signing off.